CNA Sunday night weekend recap. We have been off since probably November.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Long vacation, you know, the holidays, and we're getting back into it. The strikes are over and things are starting to happen again, so we figured it was time to get the show up and running. So if you don't remember, Ken Card and Josh Dodger and Justin here, it's been a while. We didn't really know what to talk about because we missed so much. So where do y'all want to start today, guys? Y'all want to do like news, or is there any shows that we've kind of missed we want to talk about?
I mean, I think the most recent thing that everybody's paying attention to, the new Marvel show, Echo. You know,
That's
I think it's a good place to start.
That's a good place to start. Echo, a low-budget Marvel movie, or Marvel show. I mean, this comparatively to the stuff, you know, that happened before in the $200 million budget range, this was a $50 million budget.
Yeah.
That's a fairly independent filmish for Disney and Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there were times I thought it was one of the better things we've gotten from Disney Plus. The ending has happened a lot with the Marvel Disney Plus shows. Faltered a bit, but
it was I did not like the ending didn't stick.
Yeah, they didn't.
Very flat. I didn't feel it the way I wanted to. I get what they were trying to do. I get it entirely. It didn't land. It wasn't great.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So let's talk about kind of the things we liked about the show.
I loved the indigenous people's representation. The actors they had are, and it's going to sound terrible. It's like the 15 Native American actors that they hire for every single show that they always do.
They got a hell of an agent.
Yeah, I mean, I know that sounds terrible, but they are always getting work. And so, you know, we're taking Echo back to her people, basically. Yeah. And has a lot to do with her character and how they developed it a little bit differently as well.
Quite a deviation from who she was in the comics. You know, coming in, she's more of a taskmaster type character, and you did not expect them to go that direction because, let's be honest, the average consumer's too stupid to follow that.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Yeah, they went down just a more mystical side.
Which, I mean, it makes her name make more sense. Echoes of the past versus... It does. I like that. I like what they did. I do. I really like that. It's better than the comics, in my opinion. Sets her apart a little bit.
Yeah.
A little
my favorite moment where I was texting these guys, I was like, oh, so they're doing Echoes of the past. That's their change their powers. And King goes, yeah, dumbass. Of course that's what it is. And I was
that's
like,
exactly what I said.
Yeah, no, it was 100% what you said.
The sentiment is there.
And it hurt me just in my core.
Apparently, because
it's still hanging around.
Not the first time he's brought
it. Don't shame me for figuring something out. Damn it!
All right, I really thought that Aleko Cox in the role of Echo was pretty good. I mean, this was her first role ever. Which is cool about Marvel right now. The representation and also giving these people who aren't really in the industry a chance, just like they did with Iman Vellani in Miss Marvel. I mean, that was her first role as well. So that's really cool to see people getting their chances, and I hope Marvel sticks with that.
I thought she did a great job. I like her. I liked her a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's something to be said for you cast the actor for the role. You know, you don't go looking for somebody. And I think Marvel's been real good about that.
Agreed.
You know, not hunting somebody down like, we want you to be this. And that's kind of how it was in the start. But now it's kind of more becoming, you know, we just have the casting crew and see what happens. And whoever fits there, that's who we're going to use.
Yeah, and I'd be okay with that. Like I said, moving forward, maybe even to some Fantastic forecasting. But we'll get to that later. I think that knows who that cast is going to be. It's all a foregone conclusion. But so what did we think about Wilson Fisk? They're setting him up to be the Thanos level villain of the streets. Mm-hmm. Do we feel like he lived up to setting that type of precedent in this film?
I mean, yes and no. I think I felt like it wavered. I felt like it was inconsistent. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. No.
Like 1 minute I was like, yeah, that's pretty great. The next minute it was this weird codependent thing. It was this weird. I just maybe we've got to see him develop as a character. Maybe that's what we're seeing is development, where he gets to the point where he's obviously all powerful and everything now, but we know it's going to get bigger because of the ending.
Yeah,
the ending, which straight out of the comic books. Straight out of the comic books, where I guess we spoiled it, right? He's running for mayor, obviously. Yeah. And he does get it, and it makes him a bigger problem. It gives him more power. It makes him.
Rumor is that's where Spider-Man 2 wants to start, but Sony is pushing back. I don't know if y'all heard this.
I have not.
What did they have to push back?
Sony got the taste of a $2 billion movie in their nose, and they want to bring Andrew and Toby back and do another multiverse movie.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Sony is wanting to steer it into the street level. Oh, God. I mean, Marvel is wanting to steer it into the street level.
That needs to be done. Just buy Sony, Marvel at this. It's just Disney. Just buy them at this point.
If anybody buys Sony, the rights to Spider-Man revert back to Marvel. They don't go with the sale. So anybody buy Sony.
Please.
Apple, I'm looking at you. You got a lot of money.
Apple needs a buy. I think they need a buy like this. They need something.
It would give them a lot of other property rights, you know?
They're going to ruin, if they keep putting out shit like this Madam Web that's coming, and what they've done with Venom and Morbius, they are taking great characters and slaughtering them in front of us just so they can keep making bad movies.
Yeah. Madam Web is such a B-list. It's like a Z-list character. It's like, and the only reason anybody knows who that is because of the Spider-Man cartoon.
And she doesn't even look like Madam Web.
No.
You got all this heat coming off of Jamie Lee Curtis from winning an Oscar. Jamie Lee Curtis would have been a pretty dope Madam Web.
But they couldn't have had her as like an active character. She would have been actual Madam Web in the center of the web, adjusting the skeins of reality.
It's
but of
better
course
than casting the 50 Shades
I trust me. I understand. I'm just saying. We're getting way off topic.
That's what we do.
Yeah. What the fuck?
We were talking about Echo.
Okay. Yeah. So. Remember how we got to this? Oh yeah, fucking Kingpin. Okay, yes, this Kingpin was very off kilter for me. I understood, you know, when he was going through his Daredevil canon, you know, he was that insane guy who rage and cut someone's head off with a car door, you know. But at this point, after this many years as being the head of the criminal empire of New York, I feel like he should have his shit under control.
Yeah.
Emotionally.
Knowing now that everything we saw on Netflix is canon, he went to jail at the end of season 3.
Yeah.
So he's come out of jail. We don't know if he blipped. We assume he didn't, and that's how he built his criminal empire.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just because Ronan killed, you know, so it's pretty clear he was there.
Yeah.
Because Ronan killed Allequa Cox's father, Echo's father. So I guess actually that's not a question.
Yeah, he was there.
Alive
yes,
during
he was.
What we also saw is Daredevil in this show.
We did.
Pretty cool fight sequence.
It was a great fight sequence.
The one move that I thought was so unique, she's doing a roundhouse kick and then holds the prosthetic leg like for like a beat and then kicks it back. Very visually cool. I love it when the fight choreographers give us something you haven't necessarily seen before. But it still felt very Daredevil kind of fight.
I will say time and time again, these street level shows on the MC, the fight choreographies are amazing. Like they go out of their way, and I'll say it every time, they tell a story within a fight. Yeah. You know, no matter how you want to do it, that's what Marvel does better than anybody else. Like, and you can actually understand.
They brought the Daredevil choreographer back.
I love that.
The new Daredevil show.
Yeah, they should.
That was a cool scene. It was a one take. You know, the camera didn't change. It was really cool, and it's got to be hard to do that.
Oh yeah,
can you imagine?
A lot of use of his tools. You know, more of that Daredevil from the comics, all over the place. You know, swinging with the very. You know, one of my favorite comics is he's standing up and he's got the cord out and it's.
The Billy Club is all wild.
Ridiculously long and unrealistic, but so that was cool. I think we talked about what we liked about the show.
Yeah.
let's talk about what we didn't.
Yeah.
I hated her costume.
The ending costume was rough.
The one that the grandmother made?
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. I did like her regular costume, the leather jacket with the Echo symbol, and like it was real subtle, but it was good. She looked great. But the ceremonial costume, whatever you want to call it, it was rough. Yeah, it was rough. Didn't like that. Like I said, the ending didn't stick for me. It felt like it could have been powerful, but it was flat. It was just the cinema.
Yeah,
it was wrong. It was wrong.
What did you do to me?
Yeah, that whole thing. And we don't know what happens after that. That was part of the problem.
It just runs off.
Yeah, like what did you make him feel uncertain or feel, morality? What the fuck was that?
Yeah, it was very just like the way we talked about at the end of Hawkeye. We're like, it just didn't feel like Wilson Fisk to us.
Yeah.
There were moments where it didn't hear. And
it's like, I think they imply that maybe she was freeing him from some burdens or freeing him from some things that make him this way. And maybe that's why he feels like he needs to atone for that and become the mayor. And maybe I don't know. We're diving in deep.
No. I mean, that's kind of
again. He's going to make New York great again.
I want that advertisement smears orange across his face.
Okay. Shows up in a red tie and blue suit. It's just like...
Anyway.
If that happens, come back here. If that happens,
yeah.
You said it.
We can wrap it up. I don't think there's much.
What do you think? The show out of 10?
Maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Didn't hate it.
I think 7 or 8 for me, honestly.
I give it a 6.5.
Okay. Yeah. It's worth watching. Everything before that is very well built character development. They don't stick the landing.
Biscuits or whatever his
name
was.
It was just Biscuit.
Yeah, Biscuits, the grandmother, that cast that y'all talked about that all came from the show y'all love, Reservation Dogs.
Worth the time, watch Reservation Dogs.
The familial thing built up.
It felt like a real family,
It had things to like. It was way better than Secret Invasion.
Yeah, it was. Watch that instead of Secret Invasion.
I said watch them both.
Don't watch them both. But
they got their place. It's fine.
Secret Invasion is not very good. They wanted to be, but hold on.
Yeah.
Could have been.
All right, let's move over to Daredevil since we were kind of on that adjacent topic. A lot of things happened. Mm-hmm. Feige apparently got in, saw the first couple episodes they had filmed of this new direction where Feige and Karen weren't in it, and we didn't know if it was going to be in this universe, and it apparently was god-awful. And it made him complete 180. And so now we're getting this whole new show, new writers, new directors, new fight choreography, and we're getting Foggy back. We're getting Karen back. Even rumors that we're going to get Deadshot back. Not Deadshot. Bullseye.
I think he's back. I think it's clear that he's back.
Yeah.
And then we got leaked images. Got a lot of leaked images. Saw the 3 of them together walking down the street.
Yeah.
The avocados at law back together. Also leaked images of the show. White Tiger.
Yes, that's right.
Well, we got images of in costume supervillain or superhero, depends on which White Tiger they're going to do. So, looking for Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. We got to have them all back now.
Jessica Jones posted something on Instagram this past week where she's wearing a shirt that she wore often, a T-shirt that she wore often on the show. Mm-hmm. She's holding a bottle of bourbon. She loves to throw those little hints out there. Hopefully this one means something.
I just hope that's her weekends, honestly. Like, they just cast it right.
Like, she is just Jessica.
Yeah, this is how I'll throw down. Okay, cool. Let's get cast.
They're building this street level superhero thing, and it's like, why wouldn't you bring them back?
Right. I mean, all the street level shows, with the exception of Iron Fist, were just so well done.
Yeah.
And there's no reason, if you're going to build Wilson Fisk up as the mayor of New York, you have to have, because he's going to do what he does in the comics, crack down on superheroes. But he's not going to be able to go after, the Avengers or anything like that. They're federal, but in New York, he will have control of that.
That's why Spider-Man's got to be in there.
Exactly, yeah.
Spider-Man is It's Kingpin and Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's one of the things that needs to go together. But also all these other characters as well.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see Spider-Man more dealing with, Luke Cage, Daredevil, all of those, Jessica Jones, all that.
And Iron Fist, which takes us to our next rumor. Rumor is that Marvel wants an Iron Fist. Since this is all canon, they don't want the actor that played Danny Rand. They're not saying he won't be involved, but it sounds like they want to go the direction that Jessica will become the Iron Fist. So not Jessica. That's the actress.
Colleen Wing.
Yeah, and she did actually take on the powers of the Iron Fist in the last season of Iron Fist, and she was amazing.
Yeah,
I like that actress.
She's great.
Let her be the Iron Fist, but I still want to see some point Danny Rand with the gun.
Oh yeah, the doubled 1945.
Oh, you can't give us that and not bring him back. Oh, God, so let that intersect. He's out there being a gunslinger, and
from the comic source, that was so good. At the end, I was like, "Oh my God, I hate this actor, but I love this where they're going with it." And then it got canceled.
That's one of the biggest misses Marvel has ever done on
cast. That one was terrible.
They thought it was just going to grab that Game of Thrones audience, but make him read a few lines. He was bad.
Yeah. He was just, I agree.
What's the next thing we talking about? When y'all had a phone out.
Yeah, well, somebody, I don't know.
Marvel stuff. We're gonna stay with Marvel.
Yeah, let's stay.
Are we still talking about Marvel? Oh yeah,
Fantastic Four. That is another rumor that came out. It's been actually a rumor for months that this was cast. It is a rumor. Marvel hasn't confirmed it.
Even though they're already filming, or they're filming in March, maybe.
They're gonna film in March. They've been telling us for the last 3 weeks that the imminent announcement. But
that's all I got on there. So apparently the imminent announcement of the casting is Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and that's his whole Eben Moss Backrack as
cousin from the
bear. Cousin from the bear. Like what? I did not know that was his full name. I was like, what the shit? Just cousin from the bear.
And that dude is hot right now, coming off of that show. He's got a very interesting voice that, assuming thing is going to be CGI, he needs to have a very defined voice.
Sorry.
Yes. No, they should do a totally CGI thing.
Oh, yeah. We don't need any practical effects on that.
No. Rubber suits are a thing of the past. We don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
We just don't.
Agreed.
But he does have a very good voice for it. But the only two I know are him and Pedro Pascal. So I don't know the other two.
Yeah, you do.
I do?
Yeah, absolutely. Sue Storm, the chick who plays her, you've seen all the, I assume. Have you seen the Mission Impossible movies, the most recent ones?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I can't help that.
Okay.
Have you seen Elvis?
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. That was who they were looking at. The kid they're going with, you cosplayed as him from Stranger Things.
Oh, that's him. Oh, damn. Yeah, without the long hair.
Yeah.
He'll make a good Johnny Storm. Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Is anybody else? I mean, I like Pedro Pascal, but this seems like weird casting.
It's odd casting to me as well.
Especially since him and Sue are supposed to be a thing. This chick's a lot younger than him. Isn't Pedro like in his 40s?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe almost 50.
That doesn't compete for me. I'd much rather see him maybe as a Dr. Doom, and then they give us a Reed that's the same age as Sue. It's just weird for me.
It's what weird. Hollywood does. Like, they cast really high-end actors who are in their ages, and they're like, yeah, let's just give you a 20-year-old love interest. And it is creepy.
It is a trope in Hollywood at this point.
It is very creepy.
Tom Cruise is never with a woman over 30.
No.
In any movie he does.
Or in real life.
He's no Leonardo DiCaprio, y'all.
Leo's taking him right out of high school graduation.
Yeah, like just trolling those local strip clubs in small towns.
Fucking middle schools. Something wrong with that guy.
That wasn't me.
Yeah, I know. It's Josh.
Okay, you gotta explain that before you start.
No, I don't. All right. The other thing I know we wanted to talk about was the Oscar snubs and how fucking ironic they were. Just the the entire point of Barbie was proven out in the Oscar nominations.
Yeah.
You want to explain?
I mean, I can go give you my rant again. I think it's absurd for a movie to get a nod for Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay, but then the director ignored. That's fucking absurd. It makes no sense.
I think it goes even beyond that, because this is a movie about the patriarchy and how difficult it is to be a woman and how a woman has to work harder. The whole rant that happens in Barbie, if you haven't seen it, America Ferrera did get nominated for Best Supporting Actress, which even wilder. But we have a Barbie movie about the patriarchy. The director doesn't get nominated for Best Director. The star of the movie doesn't get nominated for Best Actress. But Ken got nominated for Best Actor. Mm-hmm. What the hell? And I love Ryan Gosling. I had nothing against him.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's insanity.
Like I said, I think maybe Gerwig pissed somebody off at a cocktail party or something. Because it's
very real possibility.
It's very, very real.
If we're going to recognize this movie for acting, you can't tell me that Ryan Gosling's performance was better than Margot Robbie's.
No.
Not even close. His performance, in my opinion, was a little rubber. It was a little cartoonish, where hers was very heartfelt, very like innocent and raw at times. It's insanity to me.
The thing about this movie, and people make fun of it because it's a Barbie movie, but it was
poignant.
It looked at the patriarchy, but then also looked at the matriarchy. How people have to be equal.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't, because that was their world. Like, he came back and took over, and then she came back, and they realized, we're just equal.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm Just Ken on my playlist.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's a great song, and didn't that win it? Not yet.
It's nominated, yeah.
Yeah, did it win though?
Well, we haven't had the Oscars.
Oh,
yet.
okay. It won something. I don't know. I just remember that. Yeah, I remember Ryan Gosling. They zoomed it on. He was just blown.
I think it just kind of brings us back to the fact that the Oscars are a joke. I mean, they really are. It's a campaign. It's to spend money to get noticed. I mean, it's not about the best picture or the best actress. This is truly not.
Yeah.
It's ego. It's all ego and money, and it's complete horseshit. But we still use it as the standard for the best movie and what to watch, what not to watch, and it's completely absurd.
I haven't used it as that standard since they got me with the fucking English Patient.
Still have never seen that movie. Never gonna watch it.
So bad. Don't. If you've never watched it, don't do that to yourself. There's been some other bad ones, but I can't think of anything that burned me more than the English Patient.
I've seen many Oscar-nominated, Oscar-winning films, and seen other films that weren't even mentioned that were so much better. Yeah. Every year we go through this. Yeah. I don't remember what it was, but there was something that was competing against Brokeback Mountain, and Brokeback Mountain was revolutionary or whatever you want to call it, because it was the moment on screen with the homosexuality and stuff. We didn't talk about it back then. It was kind of a breakout thing, but what was it?
There were better movies.
There were so many better movies. It really was. But
we talked about this. It's a big movie that got kind of snubbed. You and I talked about this. I remember you saying it.
Yeah.
So that was the Barbie snub.
Yeah.
I think
we talk about Supergirl.
Yes, Supergirl.
We got our Supergirl. I got some feelings and thoughts about this, by the way.
Let us hear it.
James Gunn, Millie, what's her name?
Aycock.
Millie Aycock from Game of Thrones. She was the Targaryen.
House of the Dragon.
Was it Rhaenyra?
Yeah.
Rhaenyra Targaryen.
One of the versions of Rhaenyra we got.
Yeah. This is my problem with it. Not her, not the casting. I think she would work for James Gunn's going with a darker Kara. It's going to, based on a comic series, I don't know if you've ever read it, but it's where Krypton explodes, but Kara was in a ship orbiting Krypton and was trapped there and watched everybody she loved die. She watched the planet explode. She's a darker, she's just a more angry, it's a different version. We got dogs. Yeah. It's fine. They're fine. Anyways, my problem with this is the fact that she's being cast for a Supergirl movie. We don't even have a director yet, but James Gunn's already casting people. He's making casting decisions when he doesn't have somebody in charge of the movie. That doesn't check for me.
That means he's going to end up making himself the director.
That's what I need to happen. Otherwise, he's turning into Big Daddy, and he's gonna, I want him to play in his sandbox, but I don't want him to be so controlling that he causes problems.
Do you think Feige lets the directors cast on Marvel, or do you think Feige does?
I hope so. I hope so. I really hope so. I don't know the answer to that, but I think if you're going to give somebody the ability to be creative, you don't just tell them what to draw. You know what I mean? You got to give them some space and time, unless Gunn is doing like.
I have heard the director was not given choice on Scarlett Johansson. Iron Man 2, they said this is your Black Widow. So I think that's probably, he may have picked that up from Marvel. Although I think he had pretty good, I think he had a lot of leeway to make his casting decisions. Some of the lesser known directors, I'm not sure, get that same thrift. But I'd be okay with Gunn just running the Superman world, He runs Krypton, get another director, Gotham.
Yeah.
And
be an executive producer and have some creative input. But he's got to give people the leeway that Marvel gave him for Guardians.
Yeah.
He's got to have learned from that, because Marvel gave him the opportunity to make Guardians one of the greatest trilogies of all time, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I just hope he learned from that. So we're speculating. We don't really know. I just think it's really strange. You don't have a director or a script, and you've already hired the Supergirl. It's really weird.
Is it possible she's gonna make an appearance in the Superman movie?
Maybe so. It's awful. Superman movie's feeling awful cluttered right now.
Yeah. Well, you remember with Guardians, he would give us 3, 4, 5 post-credit scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So it could just be a post-credit scene dedicated to Kara.
Maybe. Can we talk about that Superman cat? Is that Superman actor? It's like he looks like Henry Cavill's little brother.
He's Henry Cavill.
Oh my God, he looks so much like him. It's so weird.
Which I think is a nod to the fans that wanted Cavill to stay. He's like, look, Henry's over 40. We can't do that. But this dude looks just like him, right?
Yeah.
Put him in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Give him some of that juice.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know the kid. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything.
I haven't seen the pictures of him. I don't have a clue what he's from. But anyway, he looks like Superman already, I guess.
Yeah.
Fine with that. So
I'm ready for a restart.
Mm-hmm.
Although we're not restarting his pet project. Did you hear this? Peacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 is already written and moving forward, and he says he has a creative and completely understandable way to blend it into the universe without it feeling awkward.
Wonderful. I love it.
I loved Peacemaker.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was so much fun.
So much fun.
Ridiculous fun. It was great. I'm happy about that. Hell yeah. And I know the Creature Commandos that are coming out, the animated series.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's going to be cool. So I like his ideals. I like James Gunn. I do. I rewatched Guardians 3 recently, and just like, damn, that movie's so good. It's no business.
No, it really didn't. It did the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel movies don't do that.
No, not the way James Gunn. Nobody James Gunn's like James Gunn. But I mean, that's just back to Marvel. Can we get to the Deadpool 3 without any more leaks?
No,
is that possible?
Kidding. I've just stopped looking. If I see something that says Deadpool leak, I'm like, no.
We got more this week. I mean, did you see them?
I talk about them? No, I didn't see them.
Did we talk about them? You shut up about it?
I'd rather not hear them.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
Try to ignore them. It's ruining something. Even the actors have come out and said stop. What is more Deadpool than Ryan Reynolds leaking these himself? And half of them are fake.
Yeah.
I hope that's what it is.
Yeah. I hope he calls it out in the movie. He's like, y'all remember this picture? Gotcha. You remember this? It's not real. That yellow costume with the yellow sleeves? What the hell? That's bullshit.
It's shame on
incredible. That'd be incredible. But apparently we're getting the trailer for that. In
Sunday, the Super Bowl, yeah.
Supposed to. Excited about it. I can imagine a new Deadpool trailer. I just can't imagine.
The best way to get millions and millions of nerds to watch sports.
Yeah. We already got the Swifties watching it. Might as well bring the nerds into
means a convergence.
Right. NFL's having a good fucking year, y'all. Yeah, couldn't love it more, honestly. But I don't know, man. Deadpool's got some high standards here. One, because the first two were so amazing.
I agree.
But also, this is the only MCU movie we're getting this year.
And the first MCU movie ever to be rated R.
Mm-hmm. The only
ground.
MCU
and they said if it does well, more will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Blade will be rated R. We will get probably a Midnight Suns that's rated R. Hopefully a Ghost Rider rated R.
God, I need Ghost Rider to be justified right now.
Right?
I'm petting a dog, by the way. If you can't see it off camera, if you think it's weird.
We got anything else?
I mean, I think we probably do, but we ain't got it.
I'm not going to go too deep into it, but the Disney Plus show, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, if you've read the books, they deviate, obviously. This is the first book, The Lightning Thief. But at this point, if you expect a direct, literal translation from the book to movies, you're always going to be disappointed. They're never going to do it.
Nothing works that way. It's rare. I've seen it, but it's rare.
It's very rare.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good. The actors are the appropriate age, whereas the movie, these kids were in their 20s trying to play 13-year-olds. So started off just like Tom Holland with Spider-Man, having them the right age, big deal. I love the story they told. I love the characters. I love the choices they made. I love the whole world, the whole Greek gods, the still living among us, and he is basically Perseus. So I loved it. It just finished this past week, and I'm so happy with it. So if you are a fan, definitely check it out. Even if you're not, it's a good show. Eight episodes, pretty quick, easy to binge. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I just don't have the connection to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just not on my radar, but I'll watch it soon. So anyway, you watching anything right now?
No, not really. Everything's kind of wrapped up. Just waiting for some new stuff.
It's a weird time. There's not a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like, there's not even, I'm a toy collector. There's not even anything to buy right now. It's just a weird dead man's land time right now.
We'll hit everything that peak. I think everything's got to ramp back up after the strikes.
Yeah, it's got to have time to recover.
I saw Argyle this week.
How was that?
It was not Kingsman,
Yeah.
but that's a high bar. I put Kingsman as one of the better action films of the last 25 years.
Yeah.
But it's Matt Vaughn. It's fun. It's more of a action romance movie than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
But I love Sam Rockwell. I love Matt Vaughn. I had a little bit of trouble accepting Opie's daughter as an action hero.
Should we say her name or
Dallas Price Howard? That's it. I couldn't think of her. You knew who I was talking about.
Yeah, I did.
But she's hard to buy as an action star.
Is that right?
But it's got charm. It's cute.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a good date movie.
I plan to watch it. I definitely need to see it.
I mean, anything Matthew Vaughn, we're going to check it out.
Yeah.
Fun. It's just fun. Films are always fun. They just are.
They are.
You watching anything right now?
Watching anything?
I actually was hoping to make it in time for the show. Sorry for the brief.
You're good.
Whatever. But I just finished up the last season of For All Mankind. An amazing Apple TV show. We talk about Apple TV shows a lot. This one is set in an alternate Earth where the Russian and U.S. space race continues on for years and years and years.
Because Russia beat us to the moon.
Yeah, and it's very interesting, and the characters are all well done, and I've loved it since the second I started watching it.
Super good. The way they weave in actual characters from history, both from like pop culture and world leaders, but they blend them in very different ways than what we expect. Like Werner von Braun, what we know happened to him doesn't happen to him in this. He gets run out of town for being a Nazi sympathizer.
Yep.
So it's a very different kind of, and that happens right off the bat. So that's a huge spoiler.
No, it's like the first two episodes.
But it gets you ready for, okay, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And it's very cool. Instead of, going to war, America had gone to space, basically, is kind of how I think of it.
Yeah, definitely. Gotta watch it.
You got to, man. It's really good.
It's fantastic. We're 4 seasons in, and another one's coming. So it hasn't ended. And it jumps decades per season.
Yeah.
Every season, the next one, your characters are going to be 8 to 10 years older than they were at the end of the last season. So it starts in the early 60s?
I'd say.
Or is it late 50s?
I'd say late 50s, early 60s.
Late 50s, and at the end of this season, we're heading into the 2000s. So
yeah. So and because they fund space travel, the technology that comes down
progresses way faster.
Yeah, like we have electric cars and cell phones in the 80s and things like that. So it's definitely a difference.
It's sci-fi at a very kind of elevated level.
Yeah.
Really, that's really fantastic.
You can watch it. You can start it tonight, actually.
You should.
How about you?
Percy Jackson.
We did.
Okay, cool.
He liked it too.
Yeah, I did.
You into anything? You watching anything?
Not really. I'm trying to get through Reacher just because the time to sit down and watch the episode, watch the last season of it. It's okay. I mean,
I enjoyed it. I watched all of it this past week. The second season, I binged it. It's only 6 episodes, so it was pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the normal stuff, my podcasts and things. And, yeah.
All right. Well, that is our first episode of 2024, and that's really weird to say still. But it's starting to get back to normal after the strike, and there's going to be great things to watch. And then there's also going to be things like Madam Web. So
great things to watch, and also Madam Web.
Pick carefully and go out there, consume something nerdy. It's still a great time to be a nerd and be alive. So go out there, consume something nerdy, and then as always, come back here and talk to us at CNA.
Yeah. Oh, and we're going to be at Pensacon,
CNA will be at Pensacon the 22nd through the 25th. I think that's right.
Sounds good.
Down at Pensacon, Pensacola, Florida. We'll have some panels down there. We'll be doing some new costumes. May even be able to throw a party at the place we're staying. So come check us out at Pensacon. Excelsior, everyone.
Later.